Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If the creek don't rise, my name is Angie. I am so glad you're here. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. If you're brand new, welcome. I hope you stick around for a while. This week, I'm showing you a what's for dinner video that includes quick and easy. That's the name of the game this week. If you are looking for things that you can get on your table pretty quickly, you've come to the right place. For the last couple of weeks, we've been extra busy, more than normal. And the first week, we pretty much went through the drive-thru more than we should have. I didn't even have a video last week because of that. I just didn't have enough footage to show you guys. This week I do, but they're quick and easy things, and that is okay. That is life. That happens to all of us at some point in time. We just need to get something on the table quickly. That doesn't take a lot of steps, doesn't take a lot of thinking. And so I've got a few things here that I think fit into that category. I've also had a family night. I know you guys love that. I'm going to show you what I made for family night. And I just wanted to say I am continuing with use what I have in my refrigerator, freezer, pantry. I'm really having a good time with that. It's great to cycle through things that you have, really think about what you have and how you can use that. So I've definitely been incorporating things like that, and you'll see that in this video. All that being said, let's just jump right on into it.
Well, we are back to a soup at the beginning of the video. It's been a couple weeks, and this one is a cheeseburger soup. Let me tell you, this was so good. It's also very easy to make, and mostly ingredients that you probably always have on hand. So I'm going to get started here by dicing up onion and carrot. I think the recipe also called for celery. I didn't have any, so I omitted that. I'd say this recipe that I followed is just a good general base recipe. You could omit or add to things that you thought would be good with this, but the idea is basically a potato soup with ground beef and cheese. And it was really tasty. Not long ago at church, we had a fellowship meal, and a sweet friend brought cheeseburger soup, and hers was so delicious. And I think I maybe have made one years ago, but it's been such a long time. I think that was maybe the only time I made it. So I don't know why. I always have pretty much these ingredients on hand. And like I said, it was really delicious. So let's get into this here. I'll show you the recipe that I kind of used as my gauge. I looked at several different recipes, and this one was actually a stovetop recipe, but I ended up making part of it on the stove and then transferring it to my crock pot because I just wanted it to cook low and slow all day. I also doubled this recipe because it was family night when I was making this, so I wanted to make sure I had plenty. So I doubled this, and I even measured some things out to make sure I had the right proportions going in.
Nice. Do you want to say something to the camera? Can you see yourself? Let me see.
Hi.
Leave it right there.
Yeah.
All right, now, you want to tell them what you're doing? Tell the camera.
I touched my hand.
He has crayons. Say, I'm coloring.
I am coloring. Yeah.
Oh, do you like them?
This is a little one. This is a little one.
A little one? He's a baby?
Yeah.
Can you see those at the zoo sometimes?
And this is from each mom.
Oh.
This is... Yeah, that's really smart.
Look at Mom.
Maybe I like you.
Maybe you made it right there.
Maybe I can read it like you.
Maybe right there. Okay, can you see yourself?
Yeah.
You can? Are you handsome?
Yeah.
Are you still on the camera?
Like you.
You are still on the camera!
I just couldn't resist putting these little clips of Finley in here. He is our little sweetheart. He's our third grandson, third in age, next to the youngest, and he's just so much fun. We love him so much. All right, in goes my chicken broth. I just use the dry soup base as always and make up my chicken broth that way. And I'm getting that in. Now I'm going to work on our dry seasoning. So it called for parsley. It called for Italian seasoning. It did not call for garlic powder, but I just felt like there needed to be a garlic component in there somewhere. I love garlic, and I just feel like it's such a good flavor in almost anything. So I just gave it a good healthy dose of some garlic powder. I'm going to get the lid on and let this just start chugging away, cooking these potatoes, onions, and the carrots. I'm also on the stove browning up the ground beef. Got that browned up, thoroughly drained, and that's going in as well. And I tell you, the ground beef in this soup, by the time this was done, it just melted in your mouth. It took on a whole different consistency. We even talked about that at dinner. It just literally melted in your mouth. It was so, so good. And then now I'm going to move on to dessert. This is a dessert that I made a couple of weeks ago just for me and James. I believe I might have seen Fallon make something like this, I feel like. But what this reminded me of are the little pudding parfaits that you used to be able to get from like KFC. I don't know if you remember that. James actually worked at KFC when he was in high school. And that's what it reminded me of. So you just use your box directions for making pudding, just the Jell-O pudding or any brand, and make your box directions, milk, the dry pudding mix, and then I'm going in here with my little mallet, and I've got some graham crackers that I'm just kind of pulverizing, and I decided to make these in these little individual cups. So you want to put a little bit of your graham crackers at the bottom, and then you're going to also put a little bit at the top. Now, after the pudding is kind of set, I went ahead and added in some Cool Whip, some whipped topping. Just stirred that in with my pudding, and it gives it almost like a moussey type consistency, and it just, kind of gives it a different flavor even by adding in that whipped topping. So I added that in, and I'm just going to fill up my little cups for these individual little pudding parfaits. So good. I'm sure I've made something like this in the years past, but it's been a long time, and it's just really good. I went ahead and made mine like this, put it on a tray, put it in the refrigerator, and then I just had some of the aerosol whipped topping in the can. I just set out for everyone to put their own topping on as they wanted. They were so good, and you could do so many different varieties, all sorts of different puddings or cookies, or you could even put some candy in there, fruit in there. You could do 100 things. Those were really delicious and fun and very refreshing. All right, now it's time to add in the dairy portion of this soup. Yes, it is to the brim. We're going to add in the cheese now. So I had about a pound of Copycat Velveeta. I had cubed that up. I'm adding that in. And then I also had a couple of cups of shredded cheddar. You could use pretty much whatever kind of melting cheese you wanted. If you didn't want Velveeta or if you wanted all Velveeta, I used what I had. So this was the end of my block of cheese. And then, like I said, I had some freshly shredded, I think it was Colby Jack. And then, yeah, I forgot about that. Those are just some cubes of a pepper jack cheese that I had already cubed up in a little bag. I thought, okay, well, those are getting thrown in. And then there's my shredded cheese. So all this is going to go in. It's going to get stirred around, and I'm popping the lid back on. Let this continue to melt thoroughly, and then we're going to add in the milk closer to time for serving, and let that kind of get incorporated in there as well. Now we all know that potatoes can taste a lot of salt, but this also had cheese, a considerable amount in there. So I did not put any salt until this point, and I felt like it could use a little. So I went in with Lowry's seasoning salt because I knew that would provide a really good flavor and that would pair really well with this, and it did. So I put in the Lowry seasoning salt, of course, just gave it a little taste. You want to be careful anytime with cheese that you don't get things too salty. So that worked out great. And then now I am moving on to what I'm serving along with this soup. I decided to make some quesadillas. I had some taco meat that I had prepared the evening before. I was actually gone to a ladies' fellowship, but I had made a pan of taco meat for James, and I'm using what was left of that to make some quesadillas here in the pan. I have some smaller tortilla shells, and then I have some bigger ones. And if you've been around here a little bit lately, you know that I am working on using what I have. Not really a pantry challenge or freezer challenge, anything like that, but I am really working on using the things that I have and cycling through, and it really becomes quite a fun little challenge once you get started on it, even though I'm not, doing a particular challenge like don't go to the store, don't buy this. No, I'm just really working hard on using what I have. And so it kind of, it's kind of fun after a while. You're like, okay, what can I do with this? What can I do with that? So look how good these look. Oh my goodness. I just folded that one in half because I didn't have an even number of these small tortillas. So basically I just decided, hey, what do I have that I can make along with this soup? So here's part one. These are the quesadillas that I made. I'm giving you a look at the soup here. Oh, it's time for serving. And I'm going to show you what else I made to go along with this. But look how good this is. This was really delicious. It was a win for everyone. I made a salad using what I had. I made some homemade ranch. And then in addition to these quesadillas, I made some hot ham and cheese sandwiches. And so all together, this made a yummy family night meal. I pulled it together. And it was based around the soup, and then I just made some extras to go along with it. It was really good. Now, this is another meal that you've seen here before, and I'm showing it again because these are just such a quick thing to get on the table. These Smithfield pork chops, they're the smoked ones, so they're kind of like a ham chop, honestly. These were the boneless. They fry up in no time flat. What I did, I just, kind of seared them on both sides and got that flavor in the pan. And then I decided to make some gravy. Actually, this is all per James' request. He picked these up at the store. He said, can you make some gravy and some eggs to go along with it? So we're kind of loosely watching carbs. And so we opted to have no bread with this as far as like biscuit, toast, anything like that. I just made the gravy, fried up some eggs, and we had it with those smoked pork chops. And then James also requested that the gravy be really dark. And so I don't always make a really dark gravy, but I do like a dark gravy myself. I just don't always do it, always. But he was in the mood for that, and so that is what he got. So to make a dark gravy, you just let this roux portion, so the flour and the oil or butter, whatever you're using, you just let that almost burn, truthfully. That's how you get a really dark gravy. And then you add your milk to it and just make it like you normally would. You just cook this portion a little bit longer to get it dark. So that's what I'm doing here. James is in the kitchen with me this evening. He is frying up some eggs. He actually bought me that caraway pan for Christmas, and this is the first time I'm using it. So he's actually using it to fry eggs. And look at this. This is fresh milk from a farmer up the road. We're going to try to start getting milk from him more often. And that's what I use to make the gravy. And you can see here it's pretty dark. It's looking good, bubbling away, getting super thick. Like I said, James fried up the eggs in that new caraway pan that he got me for Christmas. And this was quick and just, a comfort style breakfast for dinner. And we just put some tomatoes alongside, put the gravy right over top of the eggs. Leave in the comment section below, do you ever put gravy on your eggs? I, of course, put it on biscuits if I have biscuits, but we left the biscuits out tonight. This was really delicious. This is a crock pot full of deliciousness. James decided to make some Chile Verde with pork. He cubed a pork tenderloin all up. He seared it in the pan, and then he put it in the crock pot with 2 jars of tomatillo salsa, 3 large poblano peppers, and a whole onion. I think some cumin, some garlic powder. He did this all himself, and let me just say, it was so delicious. We actually had this for our church fellowship meal on a Sunday, and we had a little bit left over. We were able to eat it for dinner the next night, so I'm going to show you how we ate it the next night. So I just heated up some of the rice and some of the Chile Verde and decided to put them over tortilla chips. I'm not the biggest fan of corn tortillas. I like them okay, but they're just not my absolute favorite. James, on the other hand, he absolutely loves them. So he had his with corn tortillas. I decided to do kind of like nachos. So I just put some tortilla chips and added the rice and the pork on top of that, and I added nothing additional. I didn't add any cheese, I didn't add any sour cream, any hot sauce. It was just flavorful enough as it was, although any of that would have been great. It was so delicious, maybe even more so the second night. We really enjoyed this meal. I'm just really loving using things that need to be used, you guys. So this was flame broiled home-style meatballs, a great big bag. I just had a few at the bottom, pulled that out of my freezer. This was a very impromptu, unplanned meal. I'm just thinking, what can I get on the table tonight? It was that kind of a day, gone all day. So I pulled these out, put them in my little pan here, and just went to the pantry for this Classico vodka sauce. We love this one. And this is the last jar of that I had. And so I just followed the bag directions. It said cook 20 to 25 minutes. So that's what I did with the sauce. I removed it from the heat here a minute and added in a little bit of Italian seasoning and just gave that a stir just to give some color there to the sauce and some extra flavor. And these are pretty much done in my beautiful Dutch oven, which I've only used a few times because I just love it so much and I hate for it to get dirty and yucky. It's so beautiful. This was from Hope and Riley for Christmas. Oh, I just love it. Anyhow, I boiled up some angel hair pasta. That is our very favorite. And so I just went in with some salt. I went in with some of the Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and some of that truffle olive oil. It's good to season the pasta by itself as well. So I got that seasoned up. This was such a quick and easy meal, and it really hit the spot. I served mine with a salad. James didn't want salad. I didn't have garlic bread or anything. Like I said, this was a quick one. And that was just fine for this night. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. You are the best. I didn't have a video out last week because it's just been a real busy couple weeks around here. And honestly, we ate out. We ate simple things that I had, not even really meals, but it was enough to feed us. So I just didn't have enough footage to make a video last week. This week was a little better, but it's still been very, very busy, but that's okay. As long as you're fed, that's what matters. And we're certainly blessed to have plenty of good things to eat, even though they aren't big fancy meals or don't take a long time to get on the table. That's okay. All right, we will see you guys the next time. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Appreciate you so much. Take care.